For the past several weeks, Fox News has taken up the cause of Nevada cattle rancher Cliven Bundy, who got into an armed standoff with federal agents over his refusal to pay grazing fees. Fox and other conservative commentators proclaimed him a patriot. Now, though, he's being called a few other things, too. For the last month, Cliven Bundy has been the darling of conservatives, embracing his battle with the federal government over his cattle grazing on public land.
The federal government is here with an army stealing my cattle is what it is.
Bundy has been a regular guest on Fox News with Sean Hannity.
But I would think the federal government might be thankful because you're cutting the lawn for free.
Bundy even had the support of some Republican presidential hopefuls like Kentucky Senator Rand Paul.
It really is government overreach, government gone amok.
All that right-wing fawning got New York Times reporter Adam Nagorny curious. So he went to Nevada to talk to Cliven Bundy, learning that cattle war isn't his only beef.
I want to tell you one more thing I know about the Negro. They abort their young children. They put their young men in jail because they never learned how to pick cotton.
After stepping in that cow pie, the craven Cliven went mainstream.
Supporters of a controversial Nevada rancher are stampeding away from him tonight.
CNN, lately the Calamity News Network, couldn't resist either, with Chris Cuomo mixing it up with the hoof and mouther who appeared this morning holding a dead calf.
If I say Negro or black boy, slave, if those people cannot take those kind of words and not be offensive, then Martin Luther King hasn't got his job done yet.
File under no kook too crazy to ride the wave of the media maw. So when are extremists and their views newsworthy? Here to hash it out, John Keller of WBZ News, Adam Riley of WGBH News, Kelly Crossley also of WGBH News, and Susie Banakiram, a Nieman Journalism Fellow at Harvard University. First of all, there's no question in my mind that one of the reasons some of the mainstream press picked this story up, other than the fact that it's irresistible, is to tweak Fox News for having embraced this guy, to tweak some of the politicians beyond, by the way, Rand Paul, who embraced him. But this is a little bit like all the stories that were done about Fred Phelps, you know, the Westboro Baptist Church guy, or that nutty guy down in, I think it was Terry Jones, I think it was down in Atlanta.
Florida, maybe?
Threatened to burn the Koran. It's just too tempting. And this guy is so willing to talk. You know, every single person who's asked for an interview, including he had several minutes, I mean, 12 minutes today with Chris Cuomo.
Was that holding the dead cow?
Yeah, and that was never explained.
Dead calf, I thought.
Never explained what that was all about. I mean, who killed the calf? It was just
I think there's a definite similarity to people like Terry Jones, but there's also a distinction in that this guy was becoming the face of maybe not one specific movement, but the embodiment of a certain kind of political sentiment. You know, resentment of federal government overreach, very appealing to people like Sean Hannity. So I think that's why he is a little more legitimate as a story subject, because Terry Jones was just, one nut who wanted to burn the Koran and hold international affairs hostage. But this guy had a little more domestic resonance. I do think, though.
You think so?
Now he's been, he was being plugged, as you said, by
Fox News did it. No one would have known about him.
But I think now we can be done with him. And I think after, say, this week, and any coverage is going to be.
But I think it's actually sort of the opposite, right? Like before he was just like this Fox News anti-government hero. Now he's everywhere. I think the story is actually getting bigger because he won't shut up, and he's just the gift that keeps on giving, right? Like first he says it was out of context, then the video emerges, then he holds a press conference saying, actually, I did say that.
But now he's damaged goods in a way he wasn't before.
But damaged in a way that's like an irresistible media story, as opposed to before where it was sort of this embodiment of the federalist versus state debate. Right. Now it's become something that we can all sort of laugh about.
Pop popcorn and enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's not that funny.
It really, actually, it's just not funny at all. I've got a few names for him, too.
See, that's funny.
Well, really, the point of the reason that he's getting picked up now really doesn't have anything to do with our being tempted, though there's that. The fact is that other people, I'm not talking about Fox now, I'm talking about certain prominent conservatives align themselves with him. So Adam Nagorny's piece from the New York Times really said, look who's supporting this guy and look what he has to say. But the first part of it was, to me, was the important part. Look who's supporting this guy. And now the question was, well, what are these people going to say now? By the way, I saw a lot of coverage of him on MSNBC, particularly on Joe Scarborough's show, in which he said this guy does not represent conservative viewpoint. And people who are standing up with him, who call themselves conservatives, need to check themselves. And he had a few other conservatives on saying the same thing, but they weren't getting heard. It was getting sort of lost in the whole Fox thing. So that's why, to me, he's getting. And what are you going to say now that it's been proven, Sean Hannity?
One Fox, one conservative commentator or sort of politician, which one has said, I disagree with him. I disagree as if it's fact-based.
Yeah.
You know, what do you mean you disagree? And he meant about the African-American, the slave thing.
Right. Well, I mean, this character is clearly on 14 minutes and 59 seconds of his moment in the spotlight, and another second passed. It's over. We can all breathe easy. I think setting aside the issue of his politics, if that's what you could even call them, his turn in the spotlight represents the media's continued and regrettable obsession with the freak shows. It's like the old carnival, the bearded lady or the cat with three tails. Come on in and see. It's only cost a nickel. Fox bid for it. They got burned, I guess, now that it's backfiring on them. MSNBC got burnt by giving Alec Baldwin his own show, well-noted homophobe and hothead. So the moral of the story to the media is, be careful who you hop in bed with. If you need a story as an entryway into a broader issue, and certainly federal-state tensions are a legitimate issue, then go ahead and find one. Just be careful you don't lay down with fleas.
Yeah, because they were really embracing him.